recording? Press that. We are, in fact, recording. Move that off the screen. All right. Ladies, gentlemen, and wrestling fans alike, welcome to episode 13, I believe, of the Squash Match Wrestling Podcast. I can't believe I forget what number we're at. At some point, I'm just going to stop saying the number once we're however far into it. But for now, maybe that'll be around 20. But anyway, I'm Jake, joined once again here by my co-host, Jet Li. We have Night of Champions coming up this Saturday. We have Night 1 and Night 2 of Night of Champions, as you joked 2 seconds before we started recording here. We're going to get into that and more in just a couple of minutes, but before we do, Jet Li, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. This week has been... I feel like we've been in, like, the depths of hell with how hot it's been the last
Oh my
few
God,
days.
yeah. Dude, it was like 11:30, 12 a.m. the other night, and my room's in the basement, all right? You saw it when you were here. So usually it stays pretty cool down here, but for whatever reason, like, it was so muggy outside, and I don't have, like, an air conditioner vent in here just because it's in the basement and all that goes upstairs. I was like, man, like, fuck it. Like, I got to go into the garage and just get the old air conditioner. So if anybody out there who's listening can hear the air conditioner blowing, I apologize, but it's like 92 degrees and muggy outside, so I am not shutting that off. It's been like 86 in my room for the past like 3 days, so I'm not turning that thing off.
Yeah, it's been quite a hot spell recently. I'm quite surprised.
Hey,
and it did, in fact, rain earlier.
I was going to say, at least it wasn't raining, but it was downpouring on my way home from work. At least that's over, though. Typically, we record during the rainstorms, and then we have our annual or our weekly power outage that happens in the middle of the episode. We had one last week. Not a power outage, but just a little glitch in the internet. So hopefully that doesn't happen this week. But I would count on it if I'm a betting man. And I used to be, as a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I'd put some money on the fact that we're probably going to have a technical issue at some point during this episode. But anyway, let's get right into it. Night of Champions card is coming right up. Before we get into the actual matches themselves, I have a question here. We got, I don't want to say we got political on the last episode, but this was a little bit of a topic of debate within the episode. We got some stuff going on in the Middle East right now. Night of Champions is in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. I saw reports that they were moving it to London and they were moving it a week back. However, that doesn't seem to have materialized. So my question to you is, should Night of Champions be moved out of Saudi Arabia, even though they have nothing to do with the conflict that's going on in the Middle East right now?
At this rate, as much as I want to see him pull out of it, there's just too much that's already set, like, foreshadowing into, like, the future. Like, there's so much set for other PLEs that if you push this one back, it's going to be impossible to, like, get prepped for the upcoming PLEs, because I think, Saturday night's main event is already next Saturday?
Yeah.
So if you push that into next week, it's going to be impossible because you already have your big match for Saturday night's PLE, which is Gunther and Goldberg. So you don't want to push that off. And realistically, we are in the summertime. I don't know how hot it gets in the Middle East around this time. I can't imagine it's any different from what we're experiencing right now. But at this rate, I really can't see them back out, because I read something on Twitter where it was like, if they pulled out of the event, it would cost, like, TKO, like, I think 50 million or something like that.
Yeah, and that's why we're getting so many PLEs right now, is the TKO money hunger, which I don't think they would... I don't want to say they wouldn't put the safety of everybody before that, but everything seems to have kind of calmed down a little bit. Going back to last week a little bit, how we talked about SummerSlam being right around the corner, and we don't have a lot of time to build up those feuds for SummerSlam. I don't think they could really afford to, not money-wise, but just storyline-wise, to pull out and push this PLE back a week. Because then you have to waste 2 more episodes of SmackDown and Raw. You can't really develop anything for the weeks after, like regarding what happened at Night of Champions. Like, you can't move forward from it, which I think they really need to do ahead of Saturday night's main event. If they want Saturday night's main event to be like kind of how it was last time with the like story developments, which I would like to see another Saturday night's main event like that. I've really been working on my Saturday pronunciation because, side note, on my radio shows and stuff, I have a segment where I talk about wrestling, and every time I say Saturday over there, I also say it wrong. So I've really been working on that. So I think about it every time I say it now. But anyway, yeah, I don't really think that they can afford to push any storylines back leading into SummerSlam, Saturday night's main event, stuff like that. So I think everything has settled enough to where it shouldn't be a problem. I would hope that a wrestling show in a country that isn't involved wouldn't be the target of any kind of, God forbid, bombing or attack or anything like that. Can you imagine if World War III kicks off because a WWE show got, like, attacked? That'd be, like, disgusting. That's like World War I had Archduke Franz Ferdinand's assassination, and World War III had WWE Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Not that that's funny, but it'd be a little weird in the history books, to say the least.
Yeah, can we agree that if there's one way for the WWE and TKO to save money for this PLE, could we like have no pyro whatsoever?
Yeah, that might be a little sensitive there. However, Cody Rhodes is on the card. It is Night of Champions. If we do in fact get a new champion on this PLE, we're definitely going to get pyro, but I don't think we're going to. I'll save that for a couple of minutes, but yeah.
Just CGI it.
Yeah, just CGI it in there. Play some sound effects over the TV.
Yeah, because as much as like I've seen a lot on like TikTok and Twitter about people like joking about it, like that legit could possibly happen, and we wouldn't know because of how loud the pyro typically is.
Yeah, it's a weird situation we have going into this PLE, and I guess you could say an unfortunate one, even though it seems that everything is kind of mellowed out or in the process of mellowing out. Not Saudi Arabia doesn't have anything to do with it, so best of luck and safe travels to all WWE superstars and people going out to see this show. Hopefully I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be a safe and fun, family-friendly event for everybody over there. Just some weird stuff going on over there, which sucks, but looks like the show's going on.
Yeah, hopefully our one viewer who we definitely think is WWE exec gets there safe.
Yeah. We do actually have. I look at like the geometric things on YouTube and Spotify. It shows where everybody's from. We have like one listener from the UK, which is a little odd. Like a.
You know what? We'll take those.
Yeah. Spread the word out there. We love our UK friends. Anyway, though, anything more on should Night of Champions be moved to London, England, or I'm sure our one UK viewer would like it to be moved to London, England, but unfortunately, you are one of millions of WWE fans, and I don't think your sole opinion matters. No offense, that sounded kind of mean, but we appreciate the view, dude.
Yeah, the only thing that's really unfortunate, and it's really not his fault, I've been seeing like Triple H get like all the backlash because of it. It's like, hello, he's not the one that's like making these choices here.
Yeah, one, it's not up to him to move the show, and two, it's not up to him things going on geopolitically and stuff like that. So I don't think I think people throw too much hate at Triple H when stuff like this goes on, when really all he's really in charge of is the creative, I feel like.
Yeah, it's really just because of like he's basically like as big of as a name as like what Vince McMahon was. Like Vince was always the scapegoat, and now he's no longer there. I feel like it's so much easier to put the blame on Triple H, even though realistically he probably has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, like back in the day, it was a little easier to blame Vince because I think he was one of the people that was in charge of making calls like that. But Triple H has nothing to do with any of it. I feel so. Yeah, a little bit of unnecessary hate, but I mean, you got to point the finger at somebody, I guess. Pointed at. I almost said Tony Khan. Is it Tony Khan? Or no, that's AEW.
He's in the other company.
That's the other company. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to stop here.
Nick Khan.
Nick Khan, there we go. Okay. Are they related at all?
I believe so.
That's weird. AEW is going to get bought out one day. We're going to see it. WWE is going to become like the empire, the evil empire who just buys every small wrestling promotion. Or TKO will, rather. That'd be odd. We'd finally get that AEW versus WWE crossover, though. We'll have the Judgment Day roll up in a tank to, like, to an AEW show and just... You know what? Maybe a tank wasn't the best thing to say on the topic of war in the Middle East, and should we move the show? Anyway, anything more on this topic before I say something I probably shouldn't, and we move on?
Yeah, let's move on from this.
Okay, let's get right into one of the matches that I think we're both most excited for here, and we'll start hot. Let's go John Cena. Let's go CM Punk. We talked last week a little bit, and I feel like I'm eating my words about what I said last week about the John Cena heel turn getting a little bit stale. We had the pipe bomb, a complete, I don't want to say rip-off, I'll say parody of CM Punk's pipe bomb from back in the day. I thought this promo was absolutely fantastic, and I think everybody else could agree on that one kind of unanimously. What did you think about the pipe bomb? And do you think that this changed Cena's heel run for you?
So, I wouldn't say it changed like my point of view as Cena being a heel, because I feel like I've been one of those guys that's actually enjoyed his heel run compared to other people.
Yeah.
I would say kind of elevated it in a sense. And I think I mentioned this either last week or 2 weeks ago, where it's like people kind of want this last like John Cena run to be like a nostalgia run, and I feel like this has been the best part of it so far. Like the callback to the pipeline, putting his own mix into it. I feel like people want to see like situations where like John Cena used to be in. They want to see him like turn the tables and pull his spin on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, because I said it a little bit last week, it was getting a little bit stale. All the people getting involved, stuff like that. It was not necessarily stale, but like it seemed a little directionless at the time. Just like, does he go here? Does he go here? Does he go here? Does he go here? But with this kind of turned the table for me back to where I wanted it to be, because at first with the John Cena heel run, it was all John Cena versus the fans. You know, I'm going to ruin wrestling. I'm going to do it for you because I hate all of you now. You've turned your back on me time and time again throughout my career. But now he's finally focusing on his opponents. You know, it's like I have to ruin wrestling. Now there's this big group of people that's trying to stop me. You know, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, I guess Sami Zayn to an extent, CM Punk, guys like this. And he's finally turning his attention back to those guys, which I think if this is the tone for the remainder of the heel run, which it looks like it's going to be, I think we're in for a treat for the remainder of the year with John Cena. It's crazy to think that there's only like 6 months left of it, though.
Yeah, we're halfway through it.
Yeah, that's tough. So as for the match itself, any big predictions for John Cena versus CM Punk?
I still think Cena's going to retain, mainly because it does have to deal with another match that's happening either probably later in the card or before that match, if I had to guess. But yeah, I think Cena's going to retain, even though I feel like it'd be nice to see Punk with the world title again. At the same time, I feel like we're starting to get to the point where like Cena's heel turn is gonna start picking up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a little bit of shenanigans in this match. I think it's gonna be very John Cena versus Randy Orton-esque, like at Backlash, where CM Punk is on the verge of beating John Cena. I think we're going to get not a fake cash-in, but a failed cash-in from Seth Rollins. I think he's going to come out. We know Triple H loves his false cash-ins, or his failed cash-ins. We saw it big time with Damian Priest over and over and over and over again there. Seth Rollins, I don't think will have as many failed cash-ins as Damian Priest, just because of the nature of the superstar that he is and the faction that he's in and stuff. Like, this is no pushover Judgment Day. This is Division. This is a big thing. So, yeah, I think we're getting a failed cash-in. It's going to kind of screw over CM Punk in a sense where maybe the ref gets distracted while he's trying to cash in, or John Cena takes advantage of the distraction, gets one over on CM Punk. But I don't see John Cena losing the title here.
Could we see a potential R-Truth stopping
Oh, God.
Seth Rollins cashing?
I wouldn't bet on it, but maybe.
I mean, we know he's definitely still there.
He is definitely still a WWE superstar at this point. I'm not sure where they're going with R-Truth, really, though. I don't know. Do you think he's still going after John Cena? After what we saw on SmackDown?
So I saw this thing on Twitter that said that it's almost reminiscent of, like, him being a schizo. And I kind of get that, not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, we saw basically. I mean, it's really tough to say now because it's like they're still calling him R-Truth. He wants to be known as Ron Killings. Realistically, that's like a schizo thing right there.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this.
Yeah. To me, since, I guess you could say, returning to WWE, R-Truth has felt, I don't want to say forced, maybe directionless is the right word. I don't know, because, like, obviously he wasn't part of the plan. Like, he wasn't supposed to be somebody that was a big player in this John Cena heel run now that we have. So it's weird to have, going back to last week, Cody Rhodes, R-Truth. I think at some point we're going to get R-Truth versus John Cena for the title again. I don't know where they're going to shove that in, but it's kind of easy for me to see that R-Truth isn't supposed to be here anymore. And the fans did bring him back. Nick Khan brought him back personally, and now Triple H is kind of stuck with trying to find something for him to do. Because after that promo on Raw when he came back, it was like, all right, this guy needs to be like a big main event player right now, but I don't know where in the main event he really fits in, you know?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna linger around the main event. I don't think he's gonna be like the main event guy. The only reason why I could see him just be in, like, with the main event talent is because he draws in, like, the fans and money.
Yeah, like, obviously that's why he's back, you know? People wanted R-Truth, now he's back, but it's like, what do they do with him? They can't just do nothing, but at the same time, I don't want R-Truth's fan-brought-about return to, like, I don't want to say ruin anything, but, like, change the long-term plans of WWE's storytelling.
Yeah, like, if he was going after a mid-card title, I would have been fine with it. The issue is, I can't see none of the mid-card champions dropping their title anytime soon.
Yeah, especially to R-Truth or Ron Killings. Like, Dominic Mysterio is now magically injured. Even though I don't think he's injured at all. I think they dropped AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. It felt forced into the card randomly. I don't think their story was there quite yet. I think that this would have been more of a Saturday night's main event feud, and I think it's going to end up being one on that card. And I actually think it got dropped for Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, which, you know, no complaints there. But once again, Dominic Mysterio, it felt a little bit forced. They got to do something story-wise with Dominic Mysterio here, even if it's just fleshing out AJ Styles just a little bit more. But yeah, I don't see him fitting in there. He definitely doesn't fit into Jacob Fatu's story. I don't think he fits into the world title picture, either of the world title pictures. So it's weird. It's really weird. Like, obviously, he wants to go after John Cena, R-Truth I'm talking about. But he's got so much going on, you know?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think all that really matters to fans is that Truth is back in the company.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fair enough. It's just, I wish they would do something. Like, I don't want to have him around for the sake of just having him there if he's going to change up stuff that I maybe would have otherwise liked to see, you know?
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll see where it goes. Anything more on John Cena's pipe bomb, the heel turn, John Cena versus CM Punk before we move on here?
How about those name drops that Cena?
Oh, yeah. Those are big. Nick Nemeth was one of them. Matt Cardona.
Big Nemeth, Matt Cardona.
What was the other one?
Claudio.
It was. I was gonna say it was Cesaro. To me, he'll always be Cesaro. I can't get. I don't like Claudio. Cesaro's so much better. The Claudio swing doesn't sound as good as the Cesaro swing does to me. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, that was big. I don't think any of those guys will be coming back anytime soon just because of that. Did you see Matt Cardona actually called out John Cena on Twitter in a similar promo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
That was cool. I don't know. You know what? People have been saying Matt Cardona might come back for a very long time, so maybe he will. Maybe we'll see him sometime soon.
Okay, but like, I think Kevin Owens mentioned this like recently in a podcast with Cody Rhodes. He's been saying that for like the last 5 years now, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah. I feel like at this point he's just like aura farming to get himself back, you know? He's like, hey, if the fans could get R-Truth back after 3 days, why not me? And I used to love Zack Ryder. Well, when he was Zack Ryder. I was a big Zack Ryder fan. When he won the Intercontinental Championship, like randomly in that ladder match at WrestleMania, that was crazy. I used to love that. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, what a time that was, and
Yeah.
to think that was Stardust era.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
I think that was Cody's last Mania too.
It might have
before
been.
he left the company.
It might have been. All right. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, watch after I just said that in like a few months' time, he's gonna be back at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he'll be back in the Rumble or SummerSlam. That's usually how it goes with us. That one exec is sitting in his room in Saudi Arabia right now, like, what can I cook up to make these guys seem stupid right now?
I'll say, what if like Zack Ryder has been like undercover signed by the WWE for like a year or two now, and he's just been working the indies.
Honestly, he has like Cody Rhodes potential to him, I feel. Or like Drew McIntyre, like go out, do your own thing in like TNA, the indie scene, maybe go to AEW, something like that, and then come back and be a big star. Because people like, it's not like they don't know Matt Cardona. Like people follow him, they know he exists. They know him from Zack Ryder. Like he definitely has room for a return. It's just where do they fit him in right now?
Yeah, and the thing is like you mentioned like Cody and Drew McIntyre and their indie runs, but like they were only on the indies for like 3 or 4 years max, I feel like.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona has been like on the indies since his WWE release.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't been in any like bigger companies like TNA or
I was gonna say like
AEW
he does like one-offs with those companies, but like he's not like fully like rostered on them.
Yeah, it's weird. He's like a weird like celebrity appearance, but instead of being a celebrity, he's like an actual like performer, wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a little bit of a weird situation there. I think he has room to come back. Even if it's just a Royal Rumble appearance. That'd be cool.
Could you imagine next Royal Rumble, he wins the men's and Chelsea Green wins the women's?
Dude, that'd be crazy. They'd be such a power couple duo.
I mean, to be fair, when Chelsea Green won the women's tag team titles, Zack Ryder did wear it.
I saw that.
It was I think it was like a replica title, but still, like he wore it to I think it was a Japan show.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
He knows how to get clicks.
Yeah, he definitely does. And sometimes that could be your way back in. Which leads me into our next match that we'll get in. Somebody who gets a ton of clicks online and doesn't get any time on screen until finally, right now. It's Karrion Kross. It's Sami Zayn. I'm so excited for this match. Who do you got? Sami Zayn or Karrion Kross?
I'll be completely honest. Because the event is in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
I think Sammy's gonna win.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think it's too big of a deal if Sami wins. This match, to me, isn't about winning or losing for Karrion Kross. This match is about putting on a fucking show. You know? If Karrion Kross doesn't get any kind of pop whatsoever during this match, like if this match is a stinker, if this match is boring, it's going to kill any momentum that he's had. You know, people online have been clamoring. And it seems like WWE doesn't like to listen too much to the online wrestling community at times. I won't say they don't, because we all remember what happened last year at WrestleMania, and we all know our truth now. But we're finally getting the recognition of, hey, we want Karrion Kross on TV. Put him in front of us. They finally are. If he doesn't show out, I fear for the rest of his WWE career. But I hope he does. I really do. I'm excited to get to see him again.
Yeah, I will say, I feel like this match is more just to, like, set up the feud rather than just end the feud, because this feud could definitely, like, be the feud of the summer if it goes the way we want it to go. It's really going to depend really on how Karrion performs, because we haven't seen him in the ring since, I think, the Raw before Mania.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's on like main event and stuff though. That still exists. Like, why can't he even be on like WWE Speed or like something like that? Like, there's nowhere to watch Karrion Kross matches other than Karrion Kross's own Instagram page where he shows clips. And in those clips, he gets big pops and everything like that. You could hear it on Monday Night Raw when he comes out backstage. You could just hear everybody cheering for him, you know? So I'm excited to get to see him here. Like we said, he's got to show up or show out, though. Because we saw that rumor a couple weeks ago that hasn't been offered anything contract-wise yet. And we saw the same thing from Chad Gable last year's WrestleMania, I believe, when he was feuding with Sami Zayn for the IC title. I thought they were going to put the strap on Chad Gable back then. But it was like, here, we need you to go out there and get attention. Chad Gable did it. I don't see any reason Karrion Kross can't do it here.
Yeah. Do you want to get into the Chad Gable stuff or get into it later?
Which Chad Gable stuff? With Penta, you mean?
Do you know he got written off?
Wait, what? Chad Gable got written off TV?
Yeah, he's about to have shoulder surgery.
Oh my god, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they wrote him off on Monday.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Ah. Damn. You know what? I was actually thinking when I watched that segment, I didn't know that was him getting written off TV. But that was a little bit heelish from Penta. Don't you think? Just a little bit. I think we could get a heel Penta soon out of this.
Oh, trust me. I've seen heel Penta, and I am all for it.
Yeah. I think it's time. He's got enough fan recognition at this point. I don't know how much he really has going on story-wise. We saw him lose to Braun Breaker on Monday Night Raw. I think that kind of gets him out of the Seth Rollins situation. I don't think Penta's going to go after Seth Rollins, especially right now when he's tied up with like LA Knight. If he does indeed do a failed cash-in at Night of Champions, he's going to get back involved with CM Punk and then the John Cena storyline, like, undoubtedly. So, yeah, I think this was definitely them moving on from Penta in that regard. But yeah, I don't know. I was watching it and I was like, good guy Penta wouldn't do that. So, yeah, I'm excited for heel Penta. I've heard he's a really good heel. Because even when he debuted in WWE, people were saying Penta's going to debut as a heel.
I feel like now with debuts, I feel like most debuts have people starting off as a face.
Yeah, just to get them over. Because you can't have somebody debut and then just, like, lose right off the bat. Because now it's like, who's this clown? You know? Other than Rusev. Rusev didn't lose, but, he beat up lovable Otis and Tozawa. I bet you Penta's first attack is either Tozawa or Otis.
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, that just seems to be the go-to heel run starter at this point. I don't want to say the same for Gunther because he was a heel before that, but why did Gunther have to beat up Otis and Tozawa during the Jey Uso Royal Rumble win feud? That made no sense.
It made perfect sense. Gunther's a heel.
I guess a heel who beats up on the likes of little tiny Otis and Tozawa. Not tiny, but you know what I want. You know what I mean. You catch my drift. Maybe Tozawa tiny. But why didn't Gunther go after anybody bigger? Why didn't he just go after Jey Uso? The whole run there.
You think someone's bigger than Otis?
No, I don't. I meant power wise. If everybody in the WWE real life had a rating like they do in the video game, Otis and Tozawa's would not be that high. That's kind of what I was trying to. That's kind of what I was trying to get. Their power level. I think of them like anime
Shinsuke
characters. Yeah, like Shinsuke in the game for some reason.
So high rated for no reason.
Yeah, literally. We haven't seen Shinsuke on TV other than to take a pin in, a couple weeks. He was in King of the Ring, actually.
I was gonna say he was in the qualifying match.
He was in the qualifier
with Cody.
There we go. Who do you think Penta's first heel opponent could be, if not Tozawa or Otis?
If he were to turn heel, the issue is there's not really much faces on Raw right now.
Yeah.
So if he were to turn heel, I feel like they'd just give him a bunch of jobber or even squash matches. Yeah, because at the moment, if he were to turn heel, I really don't know who he would really go after.
Yeah. I feel like maybe an LA Knight would be cool. LA Knight versus Penta. Heel Penta. He'd have to go over to SmackDown for that, though.
Or LA goes to Raw, like I said last week.
Or that. I think he's going to at this point. There's not much left for him to do on SmackDown. You know?
Yeah, we've hit the point where, a lot of guys on Raw and SmackDown, there's not much for them to do on those brands. I don't really see LA Knight doing much more on SmackDown once they do a draft or a shakeup or whatever the hell they're doing anytime soon.
Yeah.
We need fresh faces on these brands.
Yeah, we desperately need something to kind of change up here, Because that's why I thought LA Knight was going to win Money in the Bank, because he just doesn't have anything going on SmackDown, really, other than the Bloodline stuff that was going on at the time. But obviously that didn't play out in his favor, so I would like to see another draft or something in the near future.
Let's hope, because these brands are kind of losing their spark right now.
Yeah, a little bit, especially SmackDown.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we move on here to... We'll get into our King and Queen of the Ring finalists.
Oh, I will say, I don't know if you noticed when Gable got attacked, there was a certain someone in the background.
I did. Ludwig Kaiser was there. Finally. The man has been missing for months, and now he's back on... I guess you could say back on TV. He's in that
Have
same...
you been seeing... I was going to say, have you been seeing the theories that he could be El Grande?
I did, actually. I was going to bring that up. I saw that on Twitter. He could be. You never know.
I mean...
He's got the chiseled look.
I was going to say, ripped as hell.
Could you imagine if Chad Gable goes away for shoulder surgery and El Grande Americano comes out and it's Ludwig Kaiser?
Honestly, I would be all for it.
Yeah. I think they could do it. Why not? That would get him on TV. That would get people excited for it. Imagine if El Grande Americano just goes back and forth between a couple of different people under the same mask.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's really gonna stir the pot up.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
Hey, like I said, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on to our next segment here? We'll get into our King and Queen of the Ring finalists.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's not do it just yet because I have to poop really bad. Give me like 5 minutes here, and I will be right back. Commercial break time. We don't have commercials. All right. My bad. That was necessary though. I was like fighting for my life through that last segment. You could probably see it on my face during the video podcast once it's uploaded. I didn't mean to rush that last segment a little bit, but I kind of had to. I don't know if there was anything else you had to say regarding Sami Zayn or Karrion Kross there. I'm sure we'll come back to it at some point.
Honestly, it was a long break where I completely forgot where we left off on.
All right, fair enough. So we were moving on to King and Queen of the Ring finals. All right, a little bit of a rejoiner here. All right, we're back in action. Had a little bit of a necessary break there. Maybe I'll make a new graphic, a bathroom break graphic, something like that with some elevator music. I definitely won't leave the 10 minutes, however long I was gone in the thing. Anyway, though, we were about to move on to our King and Queen of the Ring finals. We got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton up first. Some people aren't happy about this match being the finals online. They're saying this is a waste of a WrestleMania match. However, to that I say, not every big match has to be on WrestleMania. You know? So what? This is the first match. I'm sure they're going to have 4 or 5. We all remember Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. It started out as a little friendly bout between friends for the title at a Saturday night's main event, I believe. And look where that got us. So, what are you thinking? Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton.
I kind of hinted at this with the John Cena prediction. I think Cody's going to win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think there's no way Randy Orton wins here. And I'm actually glad Randy Orton's not going to win because I think if Cody does beat Cena at SummerSlam, I'm still sticking with my overall prediction of Seth Rollins cashing in at SummerSlam on both of them, pulling another heist of the century there. So I think coming out of that, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton could be the feud for, I don't know, maybe who gets to save wrestling from John Cena. I'm sure John Cena's not going to be done with the title picture. Maybe whoever tries to save John Cena's old self, bring him back. I don't know. I think Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes will both be involved in it that way. This definitely isn't the last match we're getting between these two, though. This is just where it starts in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a match that everyone, regardless of the criticism, everyone's going to look forward to this match. It's been a match that everyone's been wanting to see since Cody's been back with the company. And I honestly think this could have potential to be match of the night.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I don't see why it wouldn't be if it's not Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. But where was I going with that? Yeah, but lots of people were saying online, "Oh, it's got to be a title match. It's got to be at WrestleMania. This is such a WrestleMania match." But it's like, it will be. Just let it get there, you know. So what if it was Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes first for the title? Like, we see where that went, and that turned into one of the best feuds of the year, or at the end of the year, I guess. It kind of was last year and this year, but same thing applies to this one. This is going to run through the rest of the summer. This could run through maybe Survivor Series. Could lead all the way up to WrestleMania. We don't know. But I do think at one point or another, it's going to be Randy Orton. It's going to be Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. I also think we could get heel Randy back from this feud. Not this match necessarily, but this feud.
Low key, I kind of just want to see heel Cody at this point.
You know what? Actually, now that you say that, did you see the thing? It came out like today, actually. Cody Rhodes said, I don't know if it was in an interview or a podcast or whatever it was, but he said that he thinks he's at the tail end of his babyface run right now. His first babyface run, anyway. He said people could only like you so much for so long, so he thinks he's coming to the end of it here. That could be interesting.
Oh my god, when Cody was doing all his heel stuff with, like, when he initially turned heel, like, during his indie run and like his stuff in Japan. Heel Cody could have taken all of my money in the world.
Yeah. Well, the American Nightmare, that was a heel gimmick, right?
Yeah, that essentially started off as a heel gimmick because he introduced it when he became a member of Bullet Club.
Yeah. So, obviously here in the WWE, we're not accustomed to a heel American Nightmare Cody Rhodes just yet, but we've seen the Cody Lander comparisons and the rumors for a very long time. I'm ready for it. As you know, I think we're both at this point, we're heel fans. I think WWE heels are some of the best characters in wrestling right now. And Cody Rhodes, man, they're not going to make the John Cena mistake. Not that it was a mistake to not turn John Cena heel earlier, but I think Cody's going to go back and forth in order to be like one of the greats, like one of the greatest of all time, the greatest of this generation anyway, the face of the company. I think he needs a good heel run. His heel work is great. So, let him go. Let him have it.
I was gonna say, like, if Cody does turn heel, I feel like it's gonna be more natural for Cody than it would have been for like John Cena to turn heel, just because Cody's already had like the experience of being a heel like outside the company.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm sure obviously WWE has seen that stuff. They know what he could do. We all know what he could do at this point. Randy Orton would be a great start to that too. Because for as much as I want to see as a Randy Orton fan, another heel Randy Orton run, I don't know how possible it is, because no matter what happens, everybody loves Randy Orton. You can't get people to boo Randy Orton. There's no way. He would literally have to like kill somebody in the ring to get people to boo him again. Which, you know what? Going back to 2009 Randy Orton, I don't doubt he would.
Honestly, he just needs to punt the living hell out of Cody.
Yeah, that might do it. I'm trying to think of who else.
I could see that get teased.
Yeah, because it's the punt has been teased for so long now, going back to the Kevin Owens match at WrestleMania, which unfortunately we didn't get. But we still haven't gotten the punt. R-Truth ruined what little hope we had left for it, and since then we haven't seen anything. Mostly because we haven't seen Randy Orton since then. But bring it back. Everyone wants to see it. Honestly, I think people would cheer if he punted Cody Rhodes. Maybe that could start the Cody Rhodes heel run.
I mean, it could. I mean, it basically gives Cody an obstacle, since basically the King of the Ring is basically a guaranteed title shot now, which somehow that managed to be part of the prize.
Yeah. I think that this PLE should just be King and Queen of the Ring. Typically you think Night of Champions and it's like all title matches. That's like the gimmick of Night of Champions. And we only have 2 title matches on this one, so...
What do you mean? This is the second night.
Oh, that's right. This is Night 2. We'll get into Night 1 a little bit later on before we get through Night 2's card. There's more title matches on SmackDown this week than there is Night of Champions.
Exactly, Night
1. like what? I don't get it, but anyway. Where was I going with that? I forget. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. Heel run. Punt kick. It's time for the weekly. I forget what the hell I was talking about time. We had our break already. The poop break. I don't know, I lost it.
Should we also remind the audience, like our 10 viewers, what happened the last time we filmed this late?
What was it? Was it the technical difficulties?
Well, no, the amount of brain farts we had.
Oh, yeah, that's right. See, there's another one. Yeah, it is currently 9:30 p.m. I have had I don't want to say difficult schedule. I didn't have anything difficult going on. I helped my mom move some shit from the car, and then I came inside and fell asleep after work. I was like, I'm gonna close my eyes for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, and then I woke up at 8 p.m. What was sad was I had an alarm set and everything, Not an alarm, like
What,
a
you
timer.
slept through it?
I always sleep through alarms, dude. I swear my phone alarms either don't go off or like what happens is I like barely wake up and I look at the phone and I just turn it off and then I flip over. Half the time I think I'm hitting snooze, but for that I didn't use a snooze button because it was a timer. It wasn't an alarm because I didn't think I needed a goddamn alarm to wake up 12 minutes later. It was just like a reminder. This was just like in case I fall asleep during this, this will wake me up. And it did. I turned it off, though. That's my bad. I apologize if there was any scheduling difficulties to get this episode up and running. And today, what happened today? Oh, yeah. My mom was doing hair in the other room, and my wall is very thin. There's actually, in my closet, all the way at the top, the wall does not connect to the other wall. There's like a little gap. So you can, we built that wall. That used to be a doorway. That's why there's no door on it. It was just kind of like an open thing. And then this room was connected to that room. We just like put a piece of plastic up, like plastic walling, screwed it into the back of the door frame. And we were like, all right, there you go. There's your closet. So yeah, there's a little hole. You can hear pretty much everything over there. So I didn't want to record while there were people here. And then there was what, 3 instead of the only one like I thought there was, and that took a little bit longer, but it's okay. We're here. We're up and running. It is late, but that's okay. Anything more on Cody Rhodes versus John Cena? Or not. Here we go again. Oh my God. Anything more on Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton before we move on to the women's side of things here?
Hey, I mean, shout out to Randy Orton. Back-to-back years in the King of the Ring finals.
Oh yeah. Probably back-to-back L's, but that's okay, you know.
Could you imagine if he gets, like, screwed out the way he did last year, where, like, his shoulder's up during a pin?
That would be diabolical, not even gonna lie.
Hey, honestly, that might set up him punt-kicking Cody.
It could, like, hey, you didn't win. He did get his rematch against Gunther, so.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, anything more before we move on here? We have Asuka versus Jade Cargill coming up.
I think I know where we're going with the women's side.
Yeah. I think I've said it the past, like, 3 or 4 weeks. My overall prediction for Jade Cargill is a match at SummerSlam against Tiffany Stratton. I think she's getting cashed in on by Naomi. I think not only is she getting cashed in on, I think Jade Cargill's going to beat Tiffany Stratton, and then, like, 10 seconds later, Naomi's going to come out and take the title away from her. That would add so much more fuel to this feud, I feel. So if you couldn't tell from everything I just said, I have Jade Cargill beating Asuka here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like, realistically speaking, Jade's the only reasonable winner, because I really don't know what they could do with Asuka, especially since she just returned.
Yeah. And Asuka doesn't need this. She's a bona fide future Hall of Famer at this point already. Jade Cargill, on the other hand, you know, I don't want to say newcomer to the WWE. She's been here for, what, a year and a half? Maybe a little bit longer than that?
I think a little longer, yeah.
And when she was coming in, everyone was saying, oh, Jade Cargill, next big thing, main eventer, future WWE champion. So this is where that starts, I feel. She'll get one title reign under her belt. A very, very short one. Drew McIntyre-esque before she gets cashed in on, I feel. But yeah, that's kind of what I have here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. As much as I would like to say more about this match, I feel like this match, it's going to be good. The issue is I really don't know what to speak on it.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen Asuka versus Jade Cargill, so we had a little stare down on Raw, but I don't know. I think it'll be good. It'll be a solid, entertaining match, but overall, I don't have too strong of opinions on it. There's not really a storyline behind it, you know. It's just kind of like, it's not Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. You know, these two have never even really met each other. It's just kind of, it's going to be a match. It's going to kick off Jade Cargill's main event career here. So, yeah, I don't know. Not much going on there.
Honestly, I feel like this match is probably going to open up Saturday.
Yeah, it could. I could totally see it. Especially if it's like a really good match, which I think it will be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was quick. Anything more on the That could be a TikTok in itself. Just the women's segment there. People are gonna think we hate the women's matches, which isn't true at all.
It isn't true at all. The issue is, beside everything outside of the Intercontinental Championship, there's nothing entertaining about the women's division.
Yeah,
right now.
right now there's literally not much going on at all. And you know what? Just to extend the segment a little bit, we could get into the Intercontinental Championship and everything that happened on Monday Night Raw. What did you think of Lyra Valkyria interrupting this match for Bayley?
I feel like it wasn't needed because it really didn't make much sense.
Yeah, this didn't seem very within Lyra Valkyria's character. Like, before the match started, she was back there with Bayley, like, I know you're gonna win, and I'm first in line once you do. You know, well, she didn't say that. Bayley said you're first in line, but she was like, yeah, we're gonna have a friendly match for that title right after this. And then Bayley gets
Bruiser out.
Bayley gets buried with chairs. Lyra Valkyria comes out of the crowd, unburies Bayley to help her, moves in the way to take a kick from Becky Lynch, or accidentally gets kicked by Becky Lynch, and then gets pissed off at Becky and go beats her up in the ring to ruin the match. Like, what is going on here? Like, I'm glad we're getting this, like, triple threat feud kind of set up here. I can see this for Women's Evolution.
Oh, they already announced it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. But, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. It was really
it's just
confusing.
weird. It makes no sense. It's like going back to, I feel like they're trying to overdo it again with these women triple threat matches. Like back at WrestleMania when it was Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. They ran Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley like 3 times before the actual match itself when it was already right there. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you don't got to overthink it here. Sure, maybe you need some reason for Lyra to want to get herself in this match, but like you could do that backstage, you could do that through promos, you could do it so many other ways than this. Like maybe you don't want Bayley to take a pin in her return. Maybe that's the thought process behind it. But again,
They easily could have done like a double DQ or
yeah, they could have just had Becky hit her
with.
with a chair. Like who cares? Like I don't get it. And then you have Lyra come out. Like here's how I think it would have been better off now that I think about it. The match is going on. Bayley's starting to get over on Becky Lynch. Becky just gets a chair and just hits Bayley with a chair. There you go. Match is over. Lyra Valkyria comes out to save Bayley because she's getting beat down with a steel chair. She pulls out a kendo stick or something, goes to swing on Becky Lynch. Becky moves out of the way. She hits Bayley. Now Bayley's pissed off. And there you go. Like, that makes more sense, I feel. Like, this whole thing, I was watching it, I was like, why? I didn't understand. And a lot of people online didn't either. I didn't get it. It was a little goofy, I thought.
Yeah, so much to kill like the vibe of the Intercontinental Championship because
Yeah.
it's been going really good recently.
Yeah, I was such a big fan of this feud too. I mean, this doesn't kill it for me. Like, I'm sure after this they're gonna see what they did and be like, all right, people did not like that whatsoever. Like, I don't think the whole feud is dead. I don't think the match is dead or anything. It was just odd. Didn't seem very Lyra Valkyria-esque, you know? Especially if you want her to be your big baby face in this match. We had a little bit of Bayley kind of, not heelish stuff, but like she seemed a little unhappy with Lyra initially.
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so at this point. But like back in their first match, Bayley seemed a little hesitant to raise her hand. That was before WrestleMania. You could have kind of went the route of, why didn't you care that I wasn't in the WrestleMania match with you, kind of thing. Like, anything other than this. This is weird.
Yeah, we've now hit the conflicting part of adding Bayley into this.
Yeah. And last week, I think I said, I was like, you know what? I don't mind having Bayley here. I think it's a fine time to bring her back. But and it's not even Bayley's fault, I don't think. It's just weird, odd, not fitting within the realms of Lyra Valkyrie's character. So I wasn't happy with that decision, but at least we got the match we wanted.
Yeah.
Which originally I thought this would be a SummerSlam match, but again, PLE after PLE after PLE, banger after banger after banger, burger after burger after burger. I miss Drew McIntyre so much. I need him back, dude.
I saw reports he's not even like coming back like soon.
Yeah, no, he'll be gone. I think you said Royal Rumble last time we talked about Drew McIntyre.
I'll say, like, realistically, I could see him return at Royal Rumble. I don't see him returning earlier than that.
Yeah.
Give him his much needed time off.
Yeah, he deserves it, but I do miss him. Burger
I mean, he could
after burger.
I mean, he could bring back Broken Dreams. I swear,
Dude, you're hanging on to this. You're hanging on to this like the John Cena Money in the Bank win here.
Okay, but realistically, this has more realistic like intentions than Cena winning.
I will give you that one. I will give you that one, but I think if they haven't done it yet, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Because I've hit the point where it's like, okay, Drew McIntyre is just coming out to just drums beating at this point.
Yeah,
like,
his song doesn't even
something.
His song doesn't even have like a beat to it, you know. Like I'm like a finger drum guy. Like I can like finger drum songs on the radio and shit. Like that's just what I do in the car. When Drew McIntyre's song comes on, there's no like pattern to it. It's just like random drums. I can't figure it out. A challenge. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we've hit the point where Def Rebel absolutely needs to leave.
Yeah.
I keep saying this almost, I feel like every 2 weeks now. There were reports like almost 2 months ago they were supposed to leave. They haven't left yet.
Yeah, Def Rebel, do us a favor. If the one WWE exec who watches is the one in charge of giving Def Rebel contracts for no reason whatsoever, give us something new here. Because we've had big producers like Metro Boomin come out and be like, I want to work with WWE. Like, you have people saying, I want to come out and fix this problem for you. Why not let them?
Yeah. Yeah, because now we've hit the point where, like, everyone in, like, the mid-card, men and women, I always feel like they have, like, the exact same, like, tone for their theme songs.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, like, Royal Rumble, like, this year, about, like, half the entrants I couldn't recognize because of their music.
Yeah, exactly. That's a problem you don't want to have. Like, in order to recognize who's coming out, because this happens in almost all of the songs now, they like say their name or some catchphrase before the music starts and then it goes off.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Not for Zelina Vega now, funny enough, the one who probably needs it the most. Poor Zelina Vega. We'll get into her in a minute because she's got a title match on night 1 of Night of Champions. So, anything more on what was even the topic there? Asuka, Jade Cargill, Lyra Valkyria feud, Drew McIntyre's return. Before you move on here,
I'm good to move on.
All right. So we got 2 matches left for Night of Champions. We have Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez coming up next in a street fight, a match that I didn't actually know was confirmed to be on the card until we started recording today. I mean, I know it was like hinted at, and they probably did say it on Monday Night Raw. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, we got a street fight here. The 2 powerhouses, the former Judgment Day member versus the current Judgment Day powerhouse. Who you got here?
Can I be honest with you about something?
Of course.
I could give 2 fucks about this match.
Yeah,
I genuinely don't care.
Yeah, this seems like it's taking Liv Morgan's spot where she was supposed to be on this card. I was saying maybe Io Sky versus Liv Morgan for this. But
yeah, but we saw what happened.
Yeah, I feel like they're just kind of relying on the fact that Rhea Ripley's a big star and they need to do something more with the women of the Judgment Day. Honestly, though, my prediction, I think Raquel's gonna win. I think Rhea
Honestly,
Ripley.
I'm with you on that.
I
I don't think
think,
Rhea's gonna win this.
yeah, I think Rhea is. I think she's gonna finally take a pin here, and I think it's gonna be with the help of Roxanne Perez, and that's gonna set them up for that new tag team title run, I guess you could say. Um, I think this is gonna be Roxanne Perez's like Judgment Day initiation, to a sense. And what better way than getting put over by Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I feel like Rhea doesn't exactly need this win just because of like how much of a top talent she already is.
Yeah,
I feel like this loss wouldn't hurt her, especially just because of the fact that like it's gonna set up something for Judgment Day in the terms of like you just mentioned it, Raquel and Roxanne. I could definitely see Roxanne getting involved in helping Raquel win this because I really can't see what this benefits Rhea if she wins.
yeah, like it really doesn't. Now it just makes Raquel look, because all Raquel has done so far, I feel, is just get beat up by Rhea Ripley. Like she's supposed to be the powerhouse of the Judgment Day. She's supposed to be the new version of Rhea Ripley. Why does she just get bitched by everybody she faces every single week? It makes no sense. And now with Liv Morgan out of the picture for what, 6 months now or something, the women of the Judgment Day need something to do. They need to find a way to keep Judgment Day interesting. And I think having Raquel go over on Rhea is a great way to do it.
I feel like that just like legitimizes her because honestly, ever since Raquel came back, I I I think myself and a lot of people personally, I don't think anyone's taken her seriously.
Oh no, definitely not. She hasn't done anything like at all. It's been completely carried by Liv Morgan. Like she's not even like a bodyguard for Liv Morgan, because it's like Raquel will come out to try and help Liv, end up getting beaten up, and then Liv saves her in the process and then wins whatever match she's in. Like she doesn't have the aura that
Yeah.
people wished she would have had when she came back.
Yeah, and I think it really stems from the fact that like Liv and Raquel have won the titles how many times already? Like six? Like
Four, I believe.
yeah. Yeah, somewhere around there. It's like unfortunately those two will probably be forever linked.
Yeah. It just, I guess it's just weird that Raquel, the taller one, is in the shadow of Liv, the shorter one. So, I think yeah, this will be a breakout match for Raquel, and like you said, Rhea doesn't need this. Who knows though? We'll probably be wrong, and Rhea will just win, and then because Rhea Hogan never loses. And then Raquel will just go back to being a background character with the Judgment Day. I think that Finn Balor's pep talk to Raquel on Raw was interesting. And I think it's kind of setting her up for this win here.
Yeah. And honestly, like I said, I really don't care for this match. If Rio wins, I'm fine with it. If Raquel wins, I'm fine with it. Genuinely, I feel like this is one of the rare filler matches.
Yeah, in order to make it interesting, I think Raquel has to win. Because if it's just another Rhea Ripley match where Rhea Ripley just beats up the other person, oh, she almost lost, but she came through at the end, it's like, who cares? She could do that any week on any show against anybody.
I'll say literally Monday, she stormed into Adam Pearce's office asking for this match. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. She could do that with either of the two world titles, too, if she really wanted to. It's interesting to see how hard they're trying to keep her away from the title picture, which is impacting Io Sky in a way. Io has literally nothing going on. Io Sky has not defended the title since, like, WrestleMania, I believe.
Yep.
So she feels like a transitional champion. I think we talked transitional champions a little last week. with Jey Uso specifically, and it was like a transitional champion to me isn't like, oh, he held the title for a month and then dropped it. A transitional champion to me is he grabbed the title, or she in this case, got the title, did nothing with it. It doesn't matter how long you were champion for, you just held it for the sake of holding it, and then passed it on to somebody else. And right now, Io Sky is the transitional champion. We're just waiting for Rhea to win it back, or we're waiting for Bianca Belair to come back and take it off of her. Maybe Asuka at this point. I would like to see Io Sky versus Asuka.
I feel like they were kind of hinting at it.
Yeah. And especially if she loses on Saturday. It could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's basically like guaranteed that Jade is going to go after the WWE Women's title.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, the former... Jeez, it's been so long. I almost forgot Damage Control's name. The former...
Damage Control?
Yeah, the former Damage Control teammates there going at it for the world title.
Was Asuka part of Damage Control?
Technically? I don't know.
If she was, I don't recall.
When she came back, the Kabuki Warriors, when they were tag champions, were like technically part of Damage Control because Kairi Sane was there. She walked out with them.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was that WrestleMania 40 when they went against. Wait, I'm trying to think. That was such a weird time. It was Dakota Kai. This was after they turned on Bayley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Kairi Sane and Asuka was with them. Yeah. Because we had
again.
Yeah, very
couldn't
vague.
Tell you.
Very vague. Says a lot about the women's tag division. Because I think they were tag champions at the time. That's who Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill beat for the titles. Now that I think about it, the first time, second time it was Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. So. Says a lot about the women's tag division and how memorable those titles are. Anyway, though, anything more on Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez before we move on? Kind of a nothing burger here.
So good to move on.
All right, the final match we have on the card, we have what I think will only be bout one between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. Who you got here?
I honestly think Solo might win.
Really?
Because I could see what ends up happening is JC comes in to interfere, and I think that's going to lead up to basically Solo getting the win.
I want to stick with my initial prediction from last week. I think these two are going to have a couple of title matches, maybe 2 at most, 2 or 3. I think this is only part 1. I have Jacob Fatu winning at this one, going on maybe against Damian Priest Saturday night. I fucked up Saturday again. It was so close. Saturday night's main event, Damian Priest, something like that. Maybe just a Nothing Burger episode of SmackDown main event. Solo comes out, screws him over there, sets him up for the SummerSlam. Solo wins it there. So I want to stick with that prediction. I have Jacob Fatu retaining here.
So my thing was like, since they've kind of, I feel like they're kind of hinting at Damian and Solo. I feel like what could potentially happen is Solo defeats Jacob, and then after the match, I feel like JC and Solo could both take out Jacob for the time being, which could set up Solo and Damian for the title.
Okay.
And then for some foreseeable future, possibly even in that match, could see Jacob returning.
Yeah. By no means am I opposed to Solo winning the U.S. title here. I would love to see it. I think I said it last week too. I really like Solo Sikoa recently on SmackDown. He's one of the things I look forward to the most. So that'd be cool. I'm not opposed to Solo winning at all. I just don't think it's going to happen yet. I think it's a SummerSlam thing for him. Because we saw it last year. His big, I'd say one of the biggest matches of his career was at SummerSlam against Cody Rhodes with the return of Roman Reigns in there. Lots of eyes on him, lots of attention there. So I could see them giving him another big SummerSlam moment.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've hit the point where, like, if we do get Jacob versus Solo, I don't think a title is necessary.
Not necessarily. I could see that. I think it just adds a little extra something to it, you know?
It adds a bit, but at the same time, it's like, it's basically family on family. Like, even before Jacob won the U.S. title, there was already, like, mixed feelings between the two anyway. So I feel like even if Jacob didn't win at WrestleMania, I feel like we still could have gotten Jacob and Solo regardless.
Yeah, because I think I said it in our initial, like our WrestleMania predictions podcast. I wanted to see Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu then. Because one, at the time, I wasn't as big of a Solo Sikoa guy as I am right now. I think his work since WrestleMania has been much better. I wanted to see them go at it at WrestleMania, so then Jacob could move on and go after the U.S. title. Obviously, that didn't happen. But, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed. I don't think their feud needs it either. But now that it's here, kind of happy it is. Especially with it being the top title on SmackDown right now.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I don't know. I think this match will be okay.
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a lot of, like, it's gonna be like an Uso versus Uso match.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like super kicks galore.
Super kick. Samoan drop. Oh, another Samoan drop. A Samoan spike. Lots of Samoan themed names here.
Cash in. No, sure.
Seth Rollins cashes in on the United States title. Okay. That'd be funny.
I mean, I don't remember if you said you were there or not. I was there to witness Austin Theory cash in on the U.S. title.
I was not.
What a night that was.
That is funny, though. Like, why? Why cash in on a mid-card title? That makes... Like, the Money in the Bank briefcase is supposed to be, I'm breaking into the main event here. You can't break into the main event by cashing on the U.S. title. No offense to the U.S. title or Jacob Fatu, but I feel like the Intercontinental Championship has always been bigger, more important than the U.S. title. The biggest the U.S. title has ever been, I feel, is when, like, John Cena had it. For the what do you call it? Like the weekly runs that he would do. The Open Challenge, that one. I used to love the John Cena Open Challenges. Is that what got us to Rusev at WrestleMania 31?
I think it was,
or was
after the fact. Because Cena beat Rusev for it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was it.
Because it was the whole USA versus Russia thing.
Yeah, the Cold War. Even though he's like Bulgarian.
Yeah. Has a full-on Bulgaria tattoo on.
That was a Vince feud. That was definitely...
100%.
It was a Vince feud. That's funny, though. Glad Russo's back. Anything more on the U.S. title before we move on here? I feel like this is... This PLE overall... like screams, it has such high potential with, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 of the matches that are on it, but to me I have this feeling it's just gonna be B tier. I don't think it's gonna be any better than Backlash was.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I mentioned this like weeks ago at this point with like the amount of PLEs we're about to get. I can't get hype for these PLEs knowing that there's going to be another PLE, I'm pretty sure, next week. It's actually its main event. Like, I can't keep track of this.
Yeah. Like, I didn't even know Night of Champions, or yeah, it is Night of Champions. I didn't even know it was this week. I thought it was next week, but it's just like one after another at this point. Like, a lot of these matches don't seem to have a lot of like in ring wow, you know, like for as big of a storyline that John Cena and CM Punk is, it's going to be carried by the fact that they have so much history. It's not going to be like a 5-star in-ring classic. None of John Cena's matches, I feel, are that big with like, wow, look at this. Look at all these crazy spots they're doing here. Even CM Punk to an extent now. Um, I mean, Oscar versus Jade Cargill, I guess, could be good, but I'm still not super impressed with Jade Cargill at times in ring. And I'm saying this as if I'm like a 17-year WWE veteran. But like some of her stuff, it's just, it looks a little off. Mostly when she's pinning people. And I think I mentioned this before. But it's like she does that like indie pin, you know, where it's like, oh, I let her up because that wasn't supposed to be the planned finish for the match. Or like when she kicks out of pins, it's like she doesn't look like she's about to get beat, you know? It's like she knows this isn't the finish, which I get it, okay, you know. She does know she's not supposed to lose right there. But we don't. And her giving it away, it kind of, I don't know, just not super impressed with Jade Cargill as of yet. Strength-wise, look-wise, mostly everything she does I think is really good. But I haven't heard her cut too solid of a promo yet. And just the pins are one of my biggest issues with her. Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn, for as excited as I am to see it, I don't know how good Karrion Kross could be in the ring. You know, I haven't seen him since WrestleMania, so there's that. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. I think this one can be a car crash, but I don't care too much for it. And then U.S. title, again, I'm not super impressed with Solo Sikoa in ring at times, but then other times I am. Jacob Fatu, obviously, I think will carry this match, so I don't know. It'll be in the middle for me.
Yeah. Also, if you've noticed, I've been looking down. It's just because I've been trying to fact check myself.
Yeah.
Saturday night's main event is actually in 2 weeks, not next week.
Oh, okay, so we do have some time. That's good. When is Women's Evolution? I bet that's next week. Or wait, aren't they on the same weekend?
That's the night after.
Oh my god, bro.
Because they're both in Atlanta.
Jesus.
So we'll have SmackDown, Saturday night's main event, Evolution, and then Monday Night Raw.
Wow. It's like a WrestleMania weekend. It's
like that's how SummerSlam is going to be this year.
Yeah, it's like WrestleMania weekend. Saturday night's main event. And not a knock on Women's Evolution at all. I am excited for Women's Evolution. But I'm less excited for it now that we aren't getting Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan.
Yeah. And I mentioned this last week too, where it was like Liv Morgan's injury had to scrap all the plans for Evolution. So
like what matches are even being built for this? Like I don't know. We don't have. I bet they rush Io Sky versus Asuka. I bet that'll be on there now. We do have
because now we only have one confirmed match.
Yeah, we have the triple threat for the IC title, which that's going to be a banger. I'm excited for that one. I hope we get a U.S. title match, but that's happening on SmackDown on Friday versus Julia.
Actually,
which
now I think about it, we do technically have a second match. We just don't know who the opponent is. It's the NXT Women's Championship.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I forgot NXT also is going to be showcased.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Not a weekly NXT watcher, unfortunately. I tune in sometimes. But, yeah, I don't know. The Liv Morgan injury really did throw a wrench in everything there. Like, why isn't Raquel and Rhea on there? He could have done that there. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be half and half NXT main roster. Because at this point, I don't know how many storylines are really there in the women's division going into it.
I was going to say, it's mainly, for the most part, like the NXT storylines that are probably going to carry.
Yeah. Like, obviously they don't want Tiffany Stratton on the card. I don't know why.
I think they're gonna put the women's, like all the women's champions on the card. I feel like they have to, honestly.
But then why have a match with Nia Jax on SmackDown? I don't get why these title matches are here.
It's just because they couldn't get time.
Yeah. That has to be it. We can get right into those while we're on the subject, because some of these I think should be either on Night of Champions or Women's Evolution here. Let's start with Zelina Vega versus Julia. I'm having a hard time getting excited for this match because there's no real story behind it. Like, what did Julia do to get herself a title match? They had like 2 backstage segments, and all of a sudden, boom, like they have a match now. And the sad part is, I think Julia's gonna win. You know?
I want Julia to win.
I do too. I don't care at all about Zelina Vega right now, unfortunately. Partially because of her music. I think the pressure of being the champion has kind of gotten to where she's, I don't want to say, I guess she botches like twice a match at this point. Like, it's like, this isn't the Zelina Vega that we're kind of used to seeing, I feel. And I get it. She's probably trying to get herself over by doing all this cool stuff. But it's just not working for her. I think this U.S. title picture needs like a complete reset. And why not do it with Julia? Because main roster fans like myself don't know Julia as well from NXT. So she'd be perfect. Just reset the division. Give us something completely new. Clean slate.
I'll say, watching Julia in NXT, and even before then, like, I knew Julia because of Stardom in Japan. Honestly, one of the best, like, female talents, like, in the world. And I think she's only 25, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so she has, like, a very good shot to be, like, the future face of the women's division.
Yeah. And this is where it starts. And I think depending on how this run goes for her, that'll really help build her up for that time. I don't think she's there yet, obviously. She's definitely not, I almost said main roster, main event ready, from like a storyline perspective anyway. Is she good on the mic? I don't know. I haven't heard.
She's from Japan. What do you think?
Well, Io Sky's women's champion right now, so.
Okay, but like recently she's been doing her promos in Japanese, thank God.
Yeah. Her like one promo that she gets every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Poor Io Sky. I feel so bad for her.
Well, I will say you can when Julia does speak English, you can actually understand her more than Io. I will say that.
Yeah, because she doesn't, and I'm not like, all right, this is about to get controversial. This is some cancelable offenses here in the eyes of some people, but she doesn't like, is she like Japanese, like full on Japanese?
She's Japanese and Italian.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, she doesn't look Japanese, but like in the traditional sense. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here.
Where you get here?
You know what? I think I'm just gonna go back in the bathroom now. Never mind, bro. Never mind. Cut. Fucking cut. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. To me, I didn't know she was Japanese from my first glance at her. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's fair.
In a very general sense, I didn't know she was Japanese. I know she spoke Japanese. I know she lived in Japan, but I didn't know she was Japanese. So,
I mean,
yeah.
to be fair, this is completely unrelated, but Kane is Spanish.
Kane?
Yep.
Really?
He was born in Spain.
That's odd. I didn't know that. And now he's like the mayor of Kentucky or the governor of Kentucky or some bullshit. Is it Arkansas?
Somewhere down south.
I don't know.
I think it's Tennessee, I believe.
That's so weird to see. Like, he's on like Fox News. I'm like, That's Kane. He buried the Undertaker alive. You know?
I was gonna say he buried the Undertaker alive. He burned JR live on TV. He electrocuted Shane McMahon's balls on live TV. Like
And this man's
he's
on
done so much.
this man's on Fox News talking about the immigration crisis at the southern border. Like, what?
That'd be more believable if JBL was doing it.
Like, how did we get here? The WWE can take you to interesting places.
So much for us getting political.
Yeah, okay. This is like 3 times in 2 weeks. Anyway, though.
Yeah.
Anything more on Julia versus Zelina Vega before we move on here?
I'm good. I'm ready for a new champion in Julia.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Poor Zelina. They didn't even let her talk. Like, one of the best mic workers you have in the women's division is a champion that can't get over, and you're not letting her talk? Why? I don't get it.
Yeah, they're not doing her great as a champion.
No, like, it's not entirely her fault. But I wouldn't put all of the blame on WWE booking, but I'd certainly put some of it there.
I mean, all of the blame is on Def Rebel.
Pretty much. It's like a weird combination of Def Rebel, Zelina herself, and WWE booking. I'm trying to think. I'd say like 50% is Def Rebel, maybe 25% is booking. No, maybe 30% is booking, and then the rest of the 20 is Zelina.
Yeah, that's about accurate.
Yeah. Def Rebel is a majority of it, though. That awful-ass song, bro. Get her a new song. All right, anything more on the Women's United States title before we move on here?
I'm good.
All right, let's go... I don't know, what do we want to save for last? I'd like to save the SmackDown Tag Division for last. Let's go Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax. Match that we've seen a couple of times already at this point. How do you feel about this match? Who you got here? I was going to say something else, but I lost it.
Again, same thing with Rhea and Raquel. I don't give an absolute care for this match because this is literally like their 5th time going at it. At this rate, Tiffany's winning. I'm ready to move on. I don't care for this match.
Yeah, I thought that their last match was a good finale. I think I even said it on the podcast. I really liked that match. It was really good, and I thought it was a fantastic finale to their feud. Why run it back? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm trying to think of who else they could have put in this match, and honestly, I can't really think of anybody.
No one. You didn't even need this match.
This match just didn't have to happen. Tiffany Stratton could... I feel like it's more just to solidify, hey, Tiffany Stratton has this many title defenses by the time she goes against Jade Cargill and loses it.
Yeah, but if you're doing that, you can't just do it with the same person 4 times.
Yeah, that's very Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley-esque. When Liv was champion, it was just Rhea, and then Io Sky, and then Rhea, and it was like, why? It gets stale. I don't know. Although I will say, it's last woman standing, right? So at least there's some kind of stipulation to it. We usually, in matches like this, maybe a potential cash-in. I think it's on the table. I can't
see it this early.
I can't see it this early either. I think if anything, it would be a failed cash-in attempt. But I also can't think.
They were already teasing it on Friday.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. So I could see maybe a failed cash-in here. I don't think this will be the cash-in. It would be so much better to just be Naomi cashing in on Jade Cargill, winning her first title.
Yeah.
Well, anything else on Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax? Again, not much to say about this one. We've seen it 4 times.
I really can't say anything about
Tiffany
this.
is so obviously winning this match. Like, it doesn't even make sense. I don't know. I don't like it.
I mean, well, well, the stipulation make it interesting, yeah, but it's like we've already seen this. If anything, if I were to predict how this match ends, if like I don't know, if Tiffany Stratton is strong enough, which I feel like she is, she could probably just shove the announce table over Nia and just win it that way.
Yeah. Because I feel like in these kinds of matches in particular, last man standing matches or last woman standing matches, whatever you want to call it, the babyface like always wins. Like
Yeah.
80 to 90% of the time. Like there's no way the good guy who doesn't give up is gonna give up, you know?
Yeah.
Unless you literally like, I don't know, drop like a car on her or something. Like there's no way Tiffany Stratton is just gonna give up to Nia Jax at this point in her title run. I could see
Drop
if
a car.
or Nia Jax. Never mind.
I know where you're going at because I was about to say it.
Yeah, I don't know how many more cancelable offenses I can afford in this episode of the podcast. I've got a full-time job now. I am, in fact, a radio personality in the area. So, and I plug the podcast on the show all the time. So it's not like people wouldn't know where to find me. It says my frigging radio name on my hat now that I look at it. I like this hat.
How convenient.
I like this hat. I don't wear it much out because it's like who wears a hat with their own name on it? But I do like this hat. I wear it sometimes. Anyway, anything more on Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax before I move on to the final match I got here for the weekend?
I was gonna say, let's move on before we cancel ourselves here.
Yeah, something finally interesting. We have the Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six. In my opinion, this should main event SmackDown, not Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton, although I know it will be Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton. This has been an interesting feud going forward, and we talked about it a little bit last week about the Wyatt Six becoming tag champions. I think that was the topic we talked about last week, and right now, to me, it's looking like that's going to be the reality. I have the Wyatt Six winning here. How about you?
I do too. I feel like all eyes are on the Wyatt Six now, and I said it last week where it's like, if you have your entire tag team division trying to gang up together on one tag team, and it isn't the tag team champions, that says a lot.
Yeah, and no offense to the SmackDown tag team division either, or the Street Profits, because any one of these teams right now mixed up in this Wyatt Six debacle, I think is championship worthy. You know, DIY could be champions, Fraxium could be champions, Street Profits could be champions. Hell, I would like Pretty Deadly to be the champions. I think any one of these teams is more than capable of holding those titles right now. So the fact that they're all teaming up to take on the Wyatt Six says something. I think that the Wyatt Six are taking these titles home on Friday.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, because now, like, if you put the titles on the Wyatt Six, I think it just shuts down, like, all the claims that the Wyatt Six are, like, a tribute group. Like, now, if you put the titles on them, like, they're, like, an actual, like, legit faction now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like their... Because we talked about it a little bit last week, how when they first came back, it was like, this is just the tribute group. Then they took that little hiatus, somebody got injured, they came back, now they're the wrestling faction. Now they could get into, like, the Wyatt family-esque stuff that they were doing in-ring. Uncle Howdy's the ringleader of this whole thing we got going on here. It could be really cool. I look forward to the Wyatt Six's title run. At first, I wasn't a fan of... or I wasn't a believer that they would ever hold gold in the WWE, but this is a great place to start for them.
100%. And honestly, I think you mentioned it, I forget how long ago it was, but, like, the fact that this match is on SmackDown instead of Night of Champions, criminal.
Diabolical.
They're doing, like they're doing the SmackDown tag team division, like, no justice by putting them on PLEs.
Yeah. And I think the only reason they're doing that is because it's the only thing interesting about Friday Night SmackDown, so they have to. if this was just on Night of Champions, who would watch SmackDown for Zelina Vega versus Julia? I mean, I would, just to see the title change. We talked about it already. Nobody cares about Tiffany Stratton or Nia Jax again. Honestly, I don't care about Rhea Ripley or Raquel Rodriguez right now. This match screams Monday Night Raw to me. Not even main event, just like mid-card Monday Night Raw match. And you could have something big happen on Monday Night Raw. Like, I don't know why this is on this card instead of an actual championship match in probably the most competitive and compelling division in the WWE right now. Other than the fact that SmackDown needs these titles to be on there like every other week, there's no reason that this shouldn't be on this PLE.
Yeah, it's kicking the Raw Tag Team division like into the grave.
Yeah,
and I said this probably like a few weeks ago, and I'm probably still repeating it now. The tag team titles should have never been split.
No,
it should have always been unified.
Yeah, because think of how much more interesting the tag division could be. Like on Raw, obviously they need the help. But if they were appearing on SmackDown, and then they were appeering on Raw, and they were getting mixed in with, I don't know, like DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, like all these new teams, that could be where the Lucha Bros come in. Because now, sure, Penta's on Raw, Rey Fenix is on SmackDown, but if they were a tag team, they could go back and forth, you know, and that would keep it interesting. The New Day has been such dog shit champions. And at first I was like, you know what? Fine. These titles need something. But the something they got was a big, fat pot of nothing soup, which I am stirring right now with this pencil. Surprise, surprise, there's nothing here. So,
yeah.
Like, I'm honestly happy that Judgment Day is getting another chance with these titles, because I think although their last title run was also dog shit and a big fat bowl of nothing soup, they're going to do more with these titles, just appearing on TV with them at least, than New Day will. Which sucks, because I know they're also still not going to defend them at all.
I was gonna say, like, I've hit the point where, like, just set these titles back with Judgment Day, because honestly, like, besides all like the Seth Rollins stuff and Cena potentially making appearances on Raw, the only thing really good going right now, like excluding the Women's Intercontinental Championship, is Judgment Day.
Yeah. Because they have so much, they have like so many different things going on. There's Roxanne Perez trying to get herself involved. Dominic Mysterio is a champion. Liv Morgan, well, has had something going on. We have Raquel Rodriguez now getting herself out there as the new powerhouse of the faction. We have the inevitable, impending Finn Balor turn that's going to happen sometime soon. So there's a lot going on with Judgment Day, and just like the PR of having them on the show weekly would be better than whatever the hell the New Day's doing right now.
Yeah, and honestly, as much as I love the New Day, their heel run absolutely sucks.
Yeah, it stinks. It's a stinker. The turn was unforgettable. The run has not lived up to it, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but what can you do? I know what you could do. You could rejoin the titles together. That's something.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, is there anything more on Night of Champions? Night of Champions Night 1, a.k.a. Friday Night SmackDown, before we start to wrap up the show here? That's all I got for today, so.
Something happened on Raw that I can't get out of my head because it was hilarious. Fucking Braun Breaker just barking at Byron Saxton trying to do an interview.
Yeah. That was funny. Was it Paul Heyman when he was like, "No, don't, not him, not him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also Friday on SmackDown it was, or was it Raw? I don't remember. It was Paul Heyman and LA Knight in the ring
Yeah.
doing a promo battle, and then LA Knight calling out Paul Heyman for his voice crack.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was funny. Speaking of LA Knight. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Oh no, you can go.
I was gonna say
mention LA Knight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of LA Knight, we had on SmackDown, Paul Heyman was like, "Hey, you're gonna pay for kind of everything you've done." And then later in the night, he got those tsunami after tsunami after tsunami. Do you think LA Knight is getting like written off TV here for a little while until they find something to do with him, or do you think he'll be back next week?
Honestly, I think he's gonna be written off for a while. And honestly, fancy booking right here. What I could potentially see happen is, what if we do get the Seth Rollins cash in at SummerSlam, but that's when LA Knight returns to cost him that cash in. And Cena still is champion.
Honestly, I could see it just because of everything that happened inside of the Money in the Bank ladder match. But at the same time, I want to see Seth Rollins as champion. And I know he could go get a title run or a title shot kind of whenever he wants at this point. But I want to see LA Knight have a feud that he could win. Because I feel like he's just been taking L's lately. Like against Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania, Money in the Bank now. Pretty much everything to do with the bloodline there. He needs to win something, and I don't think he's going to be able to beat Seth Rollins and his faction. I don't think he's there quite yet. We've talked about these guys who are up here, and then these guys are here. LA Knight's like here. He's not quite Seth Rollins, John Cena, CM Punk just yet, but he's getting there. He's at like Jey Uso levels, I feel. Give him like a Jey Uso level threat.
Okay, so hear me on this, because this just popped in my head. Because I did read reports that group is supposedly supposed to get a fourth member. What if this is all a ruse? What if this is like... So we know why Bronson is in the group, because he took out Seth.
Yeah.
What if LA Knight is the fourth member of this group?
That's interesting, actually. Because you know what? When we were predicting who the third member would be, we talked a little bit about the charisma aspect. We need another guy who's good on the mic. We were talking like Ethan Page, somebody like that. LA Knight could be that guy,
I was just gonna say, like, what if this is like LA Knight just taking a sacrifice? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, before he gets initiated into the group, you have to take at least like 3 tsunamis to make sure you're proven.
Yeah. Because honestly, that promo on SmackDown to kick off the show, I thought that's kind of where they were going with it. I thought he was kind of saying like when he was like, "Oh, you have like 2 options here. You can either get out of our way, or, get crushed." I thought one of the 2 options was going to be you could get out of our way, or you could come join us. And LA Knight was going to have to like think about it for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, like, realistically, as crazy as it sounds, it could potentially be a ruse.
Yeah. I believe it. We've seen stuff like that before, so that's interesting. Because, like we said a little bit before, LA Knight doesn't have much going on right now. That would certainly be something.
And honestly, it just basically shoots LA Knight like straight to the main event scene more than he is on SmackDown.
Yeah. Speaking of people not having much going on right now, you know who doesn't have much going on right now?
Who?
Seth Rollins. other than the fact that he's Mr. Money in the Bank and he has his big faction. His promo on Monday Night Raw, it was also a little weird to me. Like, it was like, who was he talking to? You know, he came out and he's like, I'm the reason CM Punk is here. I'm the reason John Cena is afraid to lose his title. I'm the reason Cody Rhodes is relevant again. But it was like, who is he trying to call out here? Was it LA Knight? Was it Penta? Was it the audience? Was it Cody Rhodes? Like, I don't know. It feels like he's kind of in like standby mode until the cash-in inevitably happens.
Not gonna lie to you, I don't know if it's on my side or your side, but you kept cutting off, and I understood like none of that.
Okay. From where? What was the last part you heard? Hold on, I can repeat myself.
Like the end part, I heard like nothing for like the last like 20 seconds.
Okay. Did you hear the part where I said, you know who else has nothing going on right now?
Yeah, Seth Rollins, and
Seth
then
Rollins.
you went on the tangent that I just didn't hear at all.
Okay. All right. I'll start over. So his promo on Raw, I'm good, right?
Yeah.
All right. So his promo on Raw, to me, had like, it left me wondering who he was talking to. Like, he was saying, I'm the reason CM Punk is back today because they know how much I hate him. I'm the reason Cody Rhodes is big today. He wouldn't have been as big of a star if he didn't face me in his return. I'm the reason, all this other bullshit. And I was like, who is he talking to? You know? Because he mentioned LA Knight there, and they were having that little kind of feud thing going on. They destroyed Penta immediately after. I was like, is he talking to Penta? Is he talking to LA Knight? Is he talking to the audience? Like, who... Where are you getting at here, Seth? Like, I feel like he's just been in standby mode since winning Money in the Bank. And I mean, once he cashes in, you know, that's when the real Seth Rollins heel run starts. But for now, it's like he's kind of just hanging out, being a dick.
Yeah, yeah. I'll also say this because I think I've seen like a lot of people point this out on Twitter. There is like no chemistry between him and Paul Heyman whatsoever.
Yeah, not really. Because I feel like when Paul was with like Roman Reigns, it was like Roman wasn't like great on the mic, you know? Like, I feel like Paul Heyman is there more so for Braun Breaker and for Bronson Reed than he is for Seth. Like, we know what Seth can do. We know what Paul can do. But together, it's like they don't need each other. It's like the other members of the group need Paul Heyman.
Yeah, because like as much as like I could take Bronson and Braun seriously together, but if you add Paul Heyman into there, they just like skyrocket to the atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
If you put Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins together, the issue is both of them are at the top of their game anyway. It's not like they both need each other.
Yeah, they really... Because that's why initially, back when like the favor was a big thing and, what's going to happen at WrestleMania? Like, I didn't think Paul Heyman was going to go with Seth Rollins. Just because I was like, they don't need each other. I didn't see that happening. I did think Paul Heyman would break away from both of them, but I didn't think he would join Seth. Actually, I thought he was going to go and join Braun Breaker, which I guess technically he did. So, pat on the back there. But, yeah, I don't know. I agree, though. I don't think Seth needs Paul. I don't think Paul needs Seth. The fact that they're together, I think, just kind of solidifies this faction as the top dog.
Yeah, because in my eyes, and it's basically reminiscent of Evolution, because you have your Triple H and Ric Flair, that's Seth and Paul.
Yeah.
And realistically, in Evolution, Triple H and Ric Flair really didn't need each other in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
They were just really there to elevate the group, especially like I'm viewing like Paul Heyman as Ric Flair of this group, because I feel like if you have like someone as like high caliber or of like legendary status as like one or the other, I feel like it legitimizes your group even more. It's just more or less trying to get a big name in your faction. Granted, you have Seth Rollins, who is like your Triple H in the scenario, but it's like there's a lot that can go on, especially when you have two of your bigger guys who aren't necessarily like your future. They're
Yeah.
more of the present.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
like,
then you have your future in basically Batista and Orton being in Bronson and Braun.
yeah, this is WWE doing the exact same thing they did all those years ago. It's like, we know Braun Breaker is going to be a stud. He's going to be main eventing WrestleManias. I was a little surprised with Bronson Reed at first, because I didn't always kind of see him that way. But inevitably after this, I think it's entirely possible he gets to that level too. And I was a fan back when they first started pushing Bronson Reed against Seth Rollins. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. It's something new. I didn't see it coming, but it's cool. I was a huge Seth Rollins guy then. I mean, I still am. But I was like, damn, he just like put Seth out of action. But it got my attention on Bronson Reed. So yeah, I don't know. I think Bronson Reed definitely now especially has that potential to reach that height. Is he young? How old is Bronson Reed? I know he has like kids and stuff, so
28,
late
29.
20s, early 30s maybe.
I could be so off. Okay,
Jamie.
I'll be
Jamie, pull that
Jamie.
up. Jamie, pull that shit up. Cuz like Braun Breaker obviously he's only 25 or 26, so I think Bronson Reed definitely needs like a new entrance though.
Way off on Bronson.
What was he? 37 is my
36.
guess. Oh, 36. Damn, I was close. That's almost as old as Seth Rollins.
Let's see what Braun Breaker is.
I think he's like 25.
27.
27. Maybe he was an NFL player for a short amount of time. I think he played fullback for the Ravens or something.
Yeah, good old Kennesaw State alum.
Yeah. My headphones keep like fucking up today. I don't know what it is.
A late session.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like my bad. 10:47 here. So I've got nothing else for today, unless you have anything more on Seth Rollins faction and LA Knight, stuff like that. I got nothing else for today. So whatever else you got.
I say I got nothing. This was more or less our Night of Champions predictions episodes.
Yeah. Yep. And then next week we'll have Saturday night main event predictions along with Women's Evolution predictions. And then the following week we'll have SummerSlam predictions. Just the nature of how it goes this summer, I guess. Anyway, though, with that being said, thank you all for listening, watching, subscribing, however else you are consuming this podcast. We really do appreciate it. That one WWE exec, that one guy from the UK, and all the other 14-year-olds on my freshman football team who watch this podcast, along with probably my mom, too. Anyway, you could follow all of our socials. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, obviously YouTube, obviously Spotify. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe on all those platforms as well. I'm Jake. You can follow me on Instagram. My personal account is J_Yanoski2103 or Snake_Matthews_107. Jetly, plug your socials.
You can find me Jetly_T on Instagram.
And with all that being said, hope you enjoy the video. We will see you all next week for, I don't know. Are we going to have Saturday night's main events predictions for then? Probably. We'll have the card back.
Probably not.
Maybe
Honestly,
not.
Probably not.
Maybe not. It's been chaotic recently. But anyway, tune in next week anyway, no matter what it is. We'll see you then. 2 hours and 5 minutes.